You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Server Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Server Plus Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. The Server Plus exam is designed to measure real-world server knowledge. It uses a blend of question formats to evaluate your understanding of both theory and hands-on concepts. These formats include multiple-choice questions, drag-and-drop activities, and performance-based simulations. All of them are tied directly to the 4 content domains defined in the official objective list. The exam gives you 90 minutes to answer up to 90 questions. That time frame includes reading, thinking, and completing performance-based items. While not every candidate receives the full number of questions, the total possible is always 90. Because of this structure, pacing and familiarity with the interface can make a significant difference in your test day experience. The test uses a scaled scoring system. Your final score will range from 100 to 900 points. To pass the exam, you need a minimum score of 750. This score does not correspond directly to a raw percentage. Instead, it reflects the difficulty level and type of questions you receive, which are determined by an undisclosed algorithm. Some questions on the exam may be unscored trial items. These are included by the testing organization to evaluate new question types or content areas. They do not count against your score, but they are not marked in any way. This means you must approach every question as if it will be scored, ensuring that you give each one your full attention. The questions vary in form. Standard multiple-choice items will ask you to choose one or more correct answers from a list. Drag-and-drop questions will require you to match elements, arrange steps, or organize data visually. Performance-based questions are more interactive. They simulate tasks that resemble real server scenarios, such as identifying faults or configuring settings. Performance-based questions are designed to measure your ability to solve problems using critical thinking and applied knowledge. You might be asked to configure a network interface, assign storage volumes, or set up a user permission model. These questions often include diagrams, command options, or visual interfaces. Practicing with labs or tools ahead of time can improve your comfort level with this format. Each of the 4 exam domains carries a different weight. Server administration is the largest portion, making up 30% of the exam. Troubleshooting follows closely at 28%. Security and disaster recovery account for 24%. Server hardware installation and management rounds out the exam at 18%. This distribution affects how much time you should spend studying each area. Because server administration makes up the largest slice of the exam, it is worth focusing extra attention on installation types, network services, virtualization, and system roles. These topics form the operational backbone of many server environments. The troubleshooting domain often tests your judgment and diagnostic ability. That means understanding not just what tools exist, but when and how to use them. The language of the exam is English, and the test is offered in both physical and online formats. If you take the test in person, you will go to an authorized testing center. If you take it online, you will use a secure browser and be monitored by a remote proctor. Both methods follow strict identity checks and exam protocols to protect exam integrity. Online delivery requires specific conditions. You must install secure browser software that prevents switching between applications. A working webcam and microphone are required, and your surroundings must be quiet, private, and free from distractions. Before the exam begins, the proctor will check your identification and scan your workspace to ensure it meets the rules. In-person testing follows a similar protocol. You must bring valid photo identification and follow instructions from testing center staff. Items like cell phones, bags, and reference materials are not allowed in the testing area. You will typically be assigned a computer workstation and be monitored throughout the exam session. Environmental controls are in place to ensure fairness and concentration. Managing your time during the exam is essential. you can expect to spend about 1 minute per question on average. Some questions, particularly the interactive ones, may take longer. If you find a question especially difficult, you can skip it and return later. A timer is always visible on screen, so you can monitor your progress and adjust your pacing. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. The Server Plus exam uses a fixed structure. It does not adapt based on your performance as you move through the questions. That means the order of questions remains the same for each test taker once the test begins, though the set may be randomly selected from a larger pool. There is no adaptive scoring system, and questions do not change in response to your answers. Because of this format, guessing is never penalized. If you are unsure about a question, it is always better to select an answer rather than leave it blank. Unanswered questions receive no credit. Wrong answers carry no penalty. That means a guess gives you a chance, but an empty response gives you nothing. This simple rule can raise your final score if you remember to apply it consistently. Performance-based questions are an important part of the exam. These questions ask you to simulate actions that a real server administrator might perform. For example, you may be asked to build a redundant array using virtual drives. You may need to prioritize troubleshooting steps or assign network addresses. These questions are not about memorization. They are about action. You interact with these questions using simulated tools. Sometimes you drag objects into categories. Sometimes you enter values into fields. Other times you click through a menu to configure a setting. These tasks are meant to reflect real scenarios as closely as possible. The more you practice with server tasks in a lab setting, the more comfortable these questions will feel. Some complex questions may award partial credit. This usually happens when the question involves multiple parts, such as matching 4 items or ordering a series of steps. Even if you do not get the entire question correct, selecting some correct elements can still help your score. The exact rules for partial credit are not published, but completeness and accuracy are always your best strategy. The scoring engine is designed to reward solid understanding. That means you do not need to be perfect to pass. You need to demonstrate competence across the tested domains. Some easier questions balance out harder ones. The goal is to show that you are ready to handle real server responsibilities. If you can apply your knowledge with consistency, your score will reflect that effort. Before the exam session ends, you can revisit and change any question. The system provides a review screen that shows which questions were skipped or flagged for review. You can return to those questions and update your answers. Once you submit the exam, the session ends immediately. There is no way to undo the submission, so be sure to use all remaining time wisely. The testing interface itself is built for simplicity. You will see clear text, basic navigation buttons, and a consistent layout. Most questions appear one at a time, with clear instructions. You will have the ability to flag items for later review. In performance-based questions, diagrams or interactive fields may appear. These are designed to reflect real tools while remaining easy to use. During the test, do not let the layout distract you. Everything is designed to minimize confusion. There are no surprises in the interface itself. You will not need to scroll through long documents or manage multiple windows. The system is streamlined so that your energy goes toward thinking about the content, not wrestling with the screen. Familiarity with the exam flow can reduce anxiety. When you know how the interface works, how questions appear, and what navigation tools are available, you can focus on solving problems. This is why practicing with simulation tools or sample questions before the exam is so valuable. The more familiar the experience feels, the calmer and more focused you will be. Many candidates find that simulated practice exams are the best way to prepare. These tools recreate the pacing, question format, and decision-making process of the real exam. They allow you to identify weak areas and get used to managing your time. You can also learn how to approach performance-based items, when to skip and return, and how to maintain steady focus for the full 90 minutes. When you are familiar with the exam structure, it becomes easier to concentrate. You will not waste time wondering what a button does or how to revisit a question. You will not panic when the timer hits 30 minutes. Instead, you will stay grounded and deliberate. This confidence makes a real difference, especially on difficult or unfamiliar questions. Understanding how the exam works is a powerful advantage. You remove the unknowns. You prepare not just for the content but for the experience. This helps you stay calm, stay focused, and perform at your best. In the next episode, we will shift focus from structure to study planning. You will learn how to organize your preparation time, select study tools, and build a steady path toward passing the exam. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.